Hi friends, today I'm going to be reading a book called Mimi's Parranda. And this book was written by Lydia M. Jill, and we're going to find out what happens in Mimi's Parranda. If you don't know what a parranda is, you're about to find out in this story, and it is a Spanish word, and you're probably going to hear a lot of Spanish words. But here we go. Mimi lived in an old stone house with her parents and baby sister Tita. Every year, when the weather turned cold and people decorated their homes with garlands and lights, Mimi knew that it was time to get her bathing suit and beach hat out. Mimi and her parents always spent Christmas in Puerto Rico with her cousins, aunts, and uncles and grandparents. That morning, on her way to school, Mimi noticed that the trees in the park were shedding their leaves, and she smiled. As she walked past the corner store, she smelled the strong scent of cinnamon. That scent came from the hot cider people sip slowly in December. Mimi's smile grew even bigger when she passed by the church and heard Christmas carols. "Oh yes," she said, "it's almost here." In school, everyone was talking about Christmas presents. "I'm going to ask for a new coat," Susie said. "If I'm lucky, I'll get a sled too." "I'm getting boots and a pair of ice skates," Monica said. "I'm going to ask for a straw hat, new sandals, and a polka dot bathing suit," Mimi said. "Maybe even a beach ball." Susie and Monica looked at each other and started to laugh. "What on earth are you going to do with a bathing suit in the snow?" Susie asked. "It's for the beach. I always go to Puerto Rico for Christmas," Mimi replied. "It's like having two summers," she said. "The beaches are so beautiful. The water is warm, too." Mimi closed her eyes as if she were already in Puerto Rico. "Tia Cuca makes the best pasteles in the world. Oh, I can't wait until we leave next week." "But Mimi," Monica said, "you're going to miss our Christmas party." "It doesn't matter," Mimi said. "I'm going to fill up my belly with bread and chicharrones," she said, inflating her stomach as if it were a basketball. "I'm going to build a huge sandcastle and a moat and everything," she added. "And best of all, I'm going to get a parranda." "A what?" Monica and Susie asked at the same time. "A parranda," Mimi repeated. It's like caroling, but a lot more fun. First, you have to wait until everyone is asleep. Then you get a group of friends together and everyone takes an instrument to play." "I don't play any instruments," Susie interrupted. "You can always clap," Monica said. "No, you have to play an instrument." Mimi scratched her head, thinking of how to explain it to them. "Anyone can play an instrument. One of you can play the maracas, and the other can play the guiro," Mimi said. Monica and Susie looked at each other and started to laugh again. Mimi felt a tiny seed of frustration growing deep inside of her. "What is it now?" she asked. "We can't understand a word you're saying," Monica said, giggling. Mimi took a deep breath and explained. "Maracas are big wooden rattles filled with—" she wasn't quite sure what they were filled with. "Something that rattles." "With rattlesnakes?" Susie asked, and she and Monica burst into laughter again. "No, it's something like rice," Mimi said. "Or beans." "Rice and beans inside a wooden rattle?" Monica asked. Before Mimi could say anything, Susie and Monica fell to the floor laughing hysterically. "You girls don't know anything about anything," Mimi said, and she left the room. Mimi cheered herself up by thinking about all the things she was going to pack for her trip. Shorts, t-shirts, her rainbow-colored bucket. Her suitcase was going to be so full that surely she would have to sit on top of it to close it. When she got home, Mimi went directly to the closet to get her suitcase. "What are you doing?" Mama asked. "I'm going to pack my things for Puerto Rico," Mimi said with a big smile. "But sweetheart, you know that with Tita being so little, she won't be able to go this year," Mama said. "What?" Mimi said, unable to believe what she heard. "How come nobody told me before?" "Don't worry, Mimita. We'll go next year," Mama said. "By then, Tita will be older and the two of you will be able to play together at the beach." Mimi was so sad that she went to bed without eating dinner. Mimi dreamed of guiros, maracas, drums, palitos, and tambourines all night. She saw her cousins singing and dancing to the beat of the music. A flying table held trays brimming with rice, roasted pork, pasteles, and glasses filled with arroz con leche, decorated with a small cinnamon stick. The last week of classes seemed to last forever for Mimi. Her girlfriends were so busy planning the Christmas party that they did not notice her sadness. Since they thought that Mimi would be away, they did not bother to include her in the preparations. So Mimi spent the rest of the week having lunch by herself in a corner of the cafeteria, far from her classmates' laughter, songs, and Christmas poems. On the day of the party, Mama asked Mimi if she wanted to prepare a special dish to take to the school celebration. I'm not going to school, Mama, Mimi replied. But Mimita, what are you going to do all day? Watch TV, she said. I guess I'll sleep a little. In the afternoon, Mimi went to her bedroom to take a nap. She thought about the party, the secret Santa presents, and the little gingerbread man that always decorated the table. All her classmates and teachers would be there singing carols around a huge Christmas tree. She did not want to dream of parrandas or flying tables anymore. She just wanted to sleep in peace. Just as she was starting to fall asleep, Mimi heard noises outside her room. She opened her eyes, but she did not hear anything else. She closed her eyes once again, and when she was about to fall asleep, she heard the unmistakable sound of guidos, maracas, drums, palitos, and tambourines. She got up and shot like a lightning bolt into the living room, where she found all her friends playing instruments and singing. There were trays of food on the table and little goblets brimming over with arroz con leche. It was Mimi's parranda. Mimi was so happy that her smile seemed to spill over her ears. Monica was playing the palitos and Susie the guiro. Mimi could not believe it. How? She started to ask. Monica knew something was bothering you because you stopped talking about your trip, Susie said. And you spent the whole week by yourself in a corner in the cafeteria, Monica said. So we asked your mama what was going on, and when she said you were upset because you weren't going to Puerto Rico, we decided to turn our party into a parranda for you, Susie said. What about the instruments? Mimi asked. Easy, they both said. My brother helped us cut a broomstick. That's how we got the palitos, Monica said. My mom gave me this grater and a fork to make a guido, Susie said. And Mrs. Connor borrowed drums and tambourines from the school band, a classmate said. This is the best parranda ever, Mimi said, hugging her classmates and smiling from ear to ear. The end. I hope you enjoyed that book.